Lisa had always been the kind of person who prided herself on being right. She was sharp, articulate, and had a keen sense of logic that often made her the most convincing voice in any discussion. However, being right had slowly turned into a habit of dismissing others' perspectives. Something she was about to realize in the most unexpected way. It started with a simple argument at work. Lisa was part of a marketing team working on a campaign for a major client. The project was critical, and everyone was invested in making it perfect. During a brainstorming session, her colleague, James, suggested a new approach, something innovative, slightly risky, but potentially rewarding. Lisa, without hesitation, shut it down. "That won't work," she said confidently. "Our audience isn't ready for that. We should stick to what's been successful before." James frowned but didn't argue further. The room fell silent, and the conversation moved on. Lisa felt satisfied. She had steered the team in the right direction. Or so she thought. Over the next few weeks, Lisa noticed a subtle shift in her team's dynamics. James and a few others were less engaged in discussions. Meetings felt more like monologues than collaborative efforts. A growing discomfort settled in. But Lisa brushed it off, convincing herself that strong leadership sometimes meant making unpopular decisions. Then came the client presentation. As Lisa presented their final proposal, she noticed the client's lukewarm reaction. They nodded politely, but there was no excitement, no enthusiasm. When they spoke, their words were careful. "This is solid work," the client said, "but we were hoping for something fresher, more dynamic." Lisa's stomach sank. James's idea flashed in her mind. Could it have been the fresh perspective the client was looking for? She felt a pang of doubt but quickly buried it. The campaign moved forward as planned, though with significantly less enthusiasm from both the client and her team. The turning point came a few weeks later. Lisa and James happened to be working late in the office. She noticed him reviewing some reports. Deep in thought, for the first time, she felt the need to address the tension between them. "James," she began, hesitating, "about that idea you had in the meeting. Can we talk about it?" James looked up, surprised. He studied her for a moment before speaking. "Of course." Lisa took a deep breath. "I think I dismissed it too quickly. And I've been thinking, maybe I do that a lot." James didn't rush to respond. Instead, he leaned back in his chair, choosing his words carefully. "You have a strong presence, Lisa. People respect your opinion, but sometimes, it feels like once you make up your mind, there's no room for discussion." His words stung, not because they were harsh, but because they were true. Lisa felt a lump in her throat as realization dawned on her. She had been so focused on being right that she had stopped listening. Stopped valuing others' input. For the first time in a long while, Lisa felt genuinely embarrassed. "I didn't mean to make people feel that way," she admitted quietly. James nodded, his expression softening. "I know, but being right isn't always about winning an argument. Sometimes, it's about making space for different perspectives." Lisa let those words sink in. The next day, she did something she had never done before. She gathered her team and apologized. She acknowledged that she had been dismissive and assured them that she was committed to changing. It wasn't an easy conversation. But it was necessary. As weeks passed, Lisa made a conscious effort to listen more, to invite discussion, and to create an environment where everyone felt heard. The change wasn't instant, but slowly, the team's energy returned. Ideas flowed more freely, collaboration improved, and even Lisa felt a newfound sense of growth. One day, as Lisa sat in another brainstorming meeting, she found herself pausing before responding, considering an idea that, months ago, she might have immediately rejected. This time, she smiled and said, "Let's explore that." It was a small change. But for Lisa, it meant everything. She had finally learned that being right wasn't about shutting down others. It was about learning, growing, and making room for voices beyond her own.